to the United States Marine Corps, 240 years old, 241st birthday for the United States Marine Corps, and then Friday, a salute to all veterans.
Hoorah!
All those veterans out there, family, non-family, we appreciate it, and we thank you, and we'll do the very best we can to make sure that your time and sacrifices are well spent going forward.
We mentioned this game, and honestly, Colin Kaepernick doesn't deserve anybody's time and breath. But one more thing Joey Peeps would like to add about Colin Kaepernick. We mentioned Halloween being a couple weeks ago. He should have. I believe he should have wore big red shoes, a red nose, and some of that puffed out hair, because that would have been a very fitting costume for that man. Yeah. He's nothing but a clown. He's nothing but a clown. Even more so on the football field, where he's just dismal.
He sucks.
These days. Absolutely dismal. Can't complete a pass. Just looks like he's never even played the position before. And I've never seen an athlete actually fall from grace that quickly like he did. It's actually something unreal. I can't even. It's unbelievable to watch him these days. But let me stress one more time. I'll get to the point. San Francisco 49ers are terrible. Maybe worse than the Cleveland Browns. They're that bad. That would be very interesting to see who would get the upper hand in that game.
No.
It's not interesting. I'd almost be intrigued by the fact that who is worse. Both teams are epically bad. I don't know how the Niners even won a game in the first place. But to finish it off, Arizona Cardinals all day, every day, especially at home. 14. I have it at 14. I've seen it at 14 points. I almost think that's not enough. 31-14 Arizona, and I might even be being generous.
Yeah, you just might be. A fantasy implication discussion, Jack, you mentioned J.J. Nelson, and boy, Bruce Arians likes to show him off over the top. And I think that's a nice DraftKings, nice FanDuel play, because he's going to be cheap and he's going to get some looks. Fitzgerald's a little bit banged up. Michael Floyd hasn't shown up this season, and John Brown is out. However, I keep thinking of David Johnson on a Monday night against the New York Jets when they took over that game, and it was the David Johnson show. So buyer beware on J.J. Nelson. We talked about it Thursday night, but I wanted to bring it up again for those people that are out there getting ready to put their lineups together tomorrow morning. On to the next game. This is the one that I'm actually looking forward to the most this week. And last week we pointed out a Minnesota meltdown on the horizon. I got another prediction to make in this game here. Dallas Cowboys travel to Pittsburgh, take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is a 2.5-point home favorite. The over-under here is 50 points. I have a very, very funny feeling that this is about that time that Dak Prescott turns into a pumpkin. I don't know. I think he's played exceptionally well. I think he's done all the right things. But I do think that this is the time of the season when a team like Pittsburgh, no matter how bad that defense has been, and it's not been very good at all, I think they come in here and they are motivated to make Dak overthink. They're going to throw some confusion at him, and they're going to make things not that easy. If they can run the ball, it's not really going to matter, speaking of Dallas. But I think this is the week that Dak shits the bed, and then the conversation for when does Tony Romo take over here come back into play. I'm going to say that Pittsburgh wins this game at home 24-20, but this is the week that they get after Dak and something strange happens in Pittsburgh.
See, I'm almost very close to you. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers this week for this fact. I think this team. I love Mike Tomlin as a coach. I think he's one of the better head coaches in the NFL. He has been for a long time. He has a way when the Steelers, especially that's a bad loss in Baltimore they had last week for division, for all kinds of purposes. That's why I like them this week, because I like Tomlin. I like Roethlisberger. I think these are winners. These are guys that know how to come back from this. They realize their backs against the wall. And let's be honest, at home, this is a must-win for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have to win this game.
Yeah,
and the Dallas Cowboys are not exactly in that boat. They seem like they're in a good position and driver's seat to have good seed in the NFC when that's all said and done. They've been the most consistent team in the NFC this year by far, in my opinion. I like Pittsburgh 27-21. Close to you. I think it is a good game. I'm very much looking forward to it. But I like the Pittsburgh Steelers to pull it out in the end, 27-21. In a game, I think both teams will have their moments. They'll play well. But like I said, I'm more on the line for the Steelers this week. I like them.
Snapshot. Pepper Jack, what you got?
Boom.
Pepper Jack's got some trend analysis where the Cowboys have covered the spread in 7 straight games. The last time they covered in 8 straight games was in 1993. I believe that might be one of the years that Emmitt Smith and the Troy Aikman-led Cowboys went on and won the Super Bowl.
They smoked the Buffalo Bills for the first time that year, I think.
Right. And another thing, the Cowboys are averaging 163 yards per game on the road rushing.
Yeah.
I see an awful lot of Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think Pittsburgh's that good. I don't know what's going on. Ben Roethlisberger probably really isn't healthy. I think he might have come back a little too soon. And when he comes back a little too soon, sometimes it's bad news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know they're at home. I'm going under, though. 50 is what I got. I'm seeing a game that might go into overtime. This might be an overtime game, so I think it's going to be close. I think Dallas might win it with a field goal, 26-23 Dallas. Real close to the over, but Dallas wins straight up.
You see, Dallas is going to win on an overtime field goal, 29-20.
32-14 overtime victory.
Overtime field goal, the 16-point play. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that this is the week that something strange happens, but that should be the afternoon game of the week and probably a lot of fun to watch. What the hell's up with Le'Veon Bell?
Iced tea.
Lemonade, man.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't understand the Le'Veon Bell situation. He just hasn't been very good.
I think Ben Roethlisberger. I think he's too busy passing the football all game.
Could be
that he's forgetting the running game in Pittsburgh.
The Steelers may be drinking their own Kool-Aid, to steal your words, Pepper Jack.
Yeah,
I think they might be just falling in love with their passing attack because they've heard about how good it is.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you noticed watching Pittsburgh and watching Le'Veon Bell, he seems very timid when he hits the hole.
Yeah, something's up.
If you watch him, he does not hit
decisive.
the hole like you got like Ezekiel Elliott or Devonta Freeman does. He kind of hesitates and looks for a hole. I don't know if he's afraid he's going to get hit. I don't know if he's a little gun shy, but something's not right with Le'Veon Bell.
He may be high.
Not right with
Roethlisberger. It looks like he's running with his $300 glass graphics bong in his hand.
Yeah. Those babies are fragile, as some of us may know. Those babies are pretty fragile. You can't really, if you have that tucked in your uniform, you want to be a little careful.
I've heard.
Tommy, you mentioned it a few years ago when Darren McFadden did the same thing in Oakland.
Yeah.
He didn't hit the hole.
Bad vision, and it just I don't understand. Now that kid too, Le'Veon Bell in the past has displayed some nice vision. So maybe that offensive line just isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's in turn creating problems for Ben. You can't run the ball, you can't throw the ball. It's the way it is. Moving forward, have you guys noticed how many Super Bowl rematches we have this weekend?
A handful.
No, just two. Here's the second. Seattle at New England. New England's a 7.5-point favorite at home. Over under here is at 48.5.
This one could be tricky, especially at 7.5. I'm pretty sure most of America, that the ones that made America great again, will be all over the New England Patriots, and it's kind of for good reason, but Seattle is that team. You just don't know what you're going to get out of them on a given week. Some weeks they look really good, and other weeks you scratch your head like, who are they?
Yeah, why is this number so high? Jack, you got any kind of any trend analysis on there that's going to suggest why this is at 7.5?
I think a lot of it has to do with the short week that Seattle had because they played Monday night. They played in Seattle on a Monday night, then they had to get their butts. They got to get their butts over to New England, which I believe is flying across country. So,
and let's not forget the Patriots are they're laying wood to everybody. If they're playing, it's not even close.
If you guys know anything about international air travel, they would actually head west and go all the way around over Asia, through Europe, and then back to New England.
That is tricky. Right, Joe?
Run DMC said it best. It's tricky.
That's not true. That's not how that happens.
Yeah. I think that there's a lot of reasons why Seattle is, what are they, 6.5-point underdogs?
7.5.
Well, since 2007, the Patriots are 14-2 straight up and 10-6 against the spread when hosting AFC and NFC West teams.
This number doesn't surprise me at all. Actually,
no,
not at all.
And also, one of the biggest, what's the X factor here? It's Tom Brady because the Patriots have won by more than 11 points in each game since Mr. Tom Brady has been back on the field.
Wow.
Seattle's very, very erratic. 1 week you could look at this team and say, okay, that's the team I thought I knew with them, or that team that went to back-to-back Super Bowls, winning one of them. And then the other week they're looking at them like, who are they? What's
Let me
that?
point something out, and you guys know this as well as I do. That Seattle Seahawks team can't run the football, and they're no longer committed to running the football either.
Life without running through a motherfucker's face.
That's right.
Yeah, I just saw word
bad.
that C.J. Prosisi spends more time on the field than Kristen Michael.
Yeah.
Snap-wise. So
you think Kristen Michael would be a beast, being his name's Kristen?
He's just
he's out.
Yeah, right.
There's a new sheriff in town,
and it's C.J. Prosisi.
Here's another little tidbit for you before you all make your picks. Patriots are 19-0 straight up. Their last 19 games at home after consecutive road games. Now, who knows if that's going to come into play? But when you're 19-0, coming back home, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That is not too bad. Well, I'm going to spit my pick out here. With all that information given, I struggled with this one just because I think that's a lot of points for an NFL game. But down in distance, man, that's a long hike on a short week to get across country. They're essentially telling you at that 6.5 to 7.5 point number that New England should win this game by 10 points, and I think they do. I think they win this game 21-11.
21-11. Fair enough. I can't take it. I can't go against
a field goal.
Is that an overtime?
Yes, it is. They're going to win on a 2-point conversion.
They're just going to love to play so much. They're just going to love playing so much. They're just going to let them keep playing. It's like kids in the backyard. Even though one's getting killed, let them keep playing. I can't go against. Ready? On 3, 2, 1. Can't go against Belichick right now. Where's fucking music? Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you. I cannot go against this team, or they look too good. Seattle's on a short week. All these things are lining up for how weird the NFL is. Seattle will cover, but I can't pick that. But that's just how weird this NFL is. It's very hard. New England will win this game 27-14. I think for all the reasons we just illustrated, and I think Seattle has some issues.
Yeah, they do.
They really do. Not being able to run the ball is a big issue, and New England just looks so good right now. Can't go against them. 27-14.
Word. Pepperjack?
Pepperjack, the latest who's going to the Super Bowl at this point? You guys have any idea?
I do. I know exactly who's going.
Okay.
The Jets.
No.
Yeah, no, what? I don't. I keep seeing all this conversation about the Oakland Raiders and the New England Patriots are the cream of the crop in the AFC, and I've been around a little too long before I'm going to start believing that and taking it for face value. There's a lot of football left to be played. But, boy, right now it's hard to argue with the New England Patriots. It's hard to put down a team like that.
And in the NFC, I know there's a chance Seattle has that capability, but Dallas has been the most consistent team this entire season in the NFC.
I like Dallas and Atlanta in the NFC. I like New England and a team to be named later in the AFC.
I just think Dallas is the most complete of any of those NFC teams right now. I don't see a lot of glaring weaknesses on that team where I find in Atlanta it's obviously their defense, and in Seattle, like we said, they can't run the ball.
No, they can't. Pepperjack, that was rhetorical. What do you think?
Well, the latest power rankings that came out this weekend, New England was the number 1 team in the NFL. That's no surprise there, I don't believe. Followed by the Dallas Cowboys at number 2. But the number 3 team, which, as you know, we are the biggest Oakland Raider fans of all time.
Yeah.
But my Raiders have snuck into the number 3 spot in the NFL. Last year at this time, they were 31st. So you're talking about Dak Prescott turning into a pumpkin. I'm still waiting for our Raiders to fall flat because it's just inevitable. But I'm praying that doesn't happen. Number 4 team, though, the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm just trying to figure out how they can be number 4 in the power rankings. Because
I don't see it.
I don't see them being very good.
I don't see it.
No, Buffalo diced up that vaunted Seattle Legion of Boom defense last week. Buffalo ran at will against them.
Where do they have Atlanta?
Atlanta, I think Kansas City was 5, Atlanta was 6.
Okay.
So
Kansas City's tolerable.
Yeah. So
really
I'm
are.
looking though. I mean, I think it's New England in the Super Bowl. I'm hoping New England Dallas. I think that'd be a good game. I think you're right. I think Dallas is still